to help you in a way that you can say, oh, that kind of helped with my trance mediumship. Remember that with mediumship, with connecting to mediumship, trance, it is trying to find your trance guides. Now, some mediums will tell you that your guides are your guides, and that's who they are, and that's who works with you. Trance guides are usually guides that work directly with that vibration. They don't work with your mediumship. They don't work with other things. They work directly with you communicating or them allowing themselves to work with you. A little bit of history with my guides. Lucerne, the one I deal with now, my trance guide, he was always with me. I could sense his energy off at a distance. I could sense him there. Now, he was there in the vibration for many, many, many years. And I never really allowed him to jump into my body, to use me, to speak through me. At first, when I was in my teenage years, I had Charles, and Mr. Charles Davenport, that was his name. And he was one of my first trance guides working with me. And I didn't know at that time that Lucerne would eventually be my guide. But Charles was the one trying to get me ready for Lucerne, kind of get my vibration to a higher vibration so that Lucerne could use my energy field. So there for a while, it was just Charles. And Mildred was another lady that worked with me in trance, and I had a little boy named Billy. And for a while, I've got a picture on my wall of all three guides. But the question here with all three of them, they kind of worked with me as I worked in my trance and worked with communication to the spirit world. Then, in a while, I ended up being part of Lucerne, wanting to propel himself into my vibration. And that was kind of a journey. Because Lucerne's kind of a little bit forceful, and he took over one of the sessions when Charles was there, and he moved Charles aside, and he propelled himself into my vibration. And when I came out of the trance session, everybody said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" They were going, "Really? What happened? What happened?" And I found out that my voice, everything about my vibration had changed, and Lucerne had taken over. So a lot of this is kind of not connecting on a mediumship level of vibration. It's kind of just ask your higher self, ask your vibration when you're in meditation or when you're in your quiet moment. Ask your guides if there is a trance guide or a connecting to you or a vibration for you. And then see what appears in your vibration, what kind of connects to you. Because trance is, if you're going to do mediumship, you're going to connect to your mediumship, you should always try to do mediumship first. Not just go right into trance, but try to do your mediumship first. Figure out exactly who's around you. Figure out who's in the vibration, who's connected to you, and what's happening before you actually go moving off into a direction and telling yourself, all right, I'm just going to go into trance and allow somebody to take over my body. Well, there's light trance, which is, a lot of the mediums will have that. They'll have a light overshadowing of spirit, and they won't really remember what they told you. It'll just be this, they'll be talking for a while, and they won't really remember what they told you, and that is a light trance, a light vibration. Then you have that kind of vibration where you're still kind of in control, but Spirit's kind of controlling the vibration. And then there's the deep trance, where you are completely not pushed completely aside, but you have no idea what's going on. You envision yourself somewhere outside of your body, sitting somewhere. When I used to work with Charles Davenport, I would go to his library, and when I left my body, I would feel myself being pulled out of my body, through my back. Pulled. And then I would end up in this library, these big brown chairs, leather chairs, and this huge library. And either Mildred or Billy would be standing there, sitting there with me, while Charles was working with me. Charles. But I could see my body off at a distance, off at a distance. I could see myself, but I couldn't hear what Charles was saying. I couldn't hear any of that. I just knew that I could still see my body off at a distance. I remember years when I was a kid, my mother used to have this whole thing of she'd sleep in her bed and she'd turn the light on because she was afraid that if she left her body, her silver cord would be cut and that people would keep her on the other side. So she always wanted to keep that light burning next to her bed so she could find her way back to her body. Well, when I was on the spirit side of life with them working with me and the trance guides working with me, I could always see my body. It was never that far off in the distance that I lost touch with it. I lost communication with where I was. I knew where I was. I just didn't know what was going on or what was happening at that moment, what they were talking about. That's why a lot of the trance mediums, when they're in the trance and they're in the trance vibration, they don't really know what they've told you. Now, you come up after a service and say, you told me this. Well, don't really remember that. I'm glad that it helped. I'm glad that it encouraged you. I'm glad that it blessed you on your journey. But it's probably not something I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to know that that is what Lucerne told you because I can't hear Lucerne. I can't hear Charles. So the vibration with that is be comfortable with the guide using your vibration. Especially, I love it when people say, well, I just open up, Lou. I'm open 24/7. I'm just going to allow whoever wants to jump in, just let them jump in and let them be part of the vibration. Let them be here. Oh, God, scary thought. Because you have no idea who's following you or who somebody has left in your house. Knowing the person, and remember the messages through a trance mediumship or trance demonstration should weigh themselves out. If I'm talking crazy and I'm not connecting or the whole vibration isn't quite working, I am not connecting. It is not in the vibration. The trance should work itself out. Lucerne will help me sometimes with my mediumship. He'll kind of overshadow if he really wants to tell somebody something. But he doesn't take complete control of my body, but he overshadows me. And that's what's going to happen today. He'll overshadow me. My voice will change. Different things in my vibration will change. But you'll notice that my voice will change. And he'll work the way he wants to work with my voice. And my voice is always, even with Charles, and now with Lucerne, my voice has stayed kind of the same. It changed a little tiny bit. But it's like from the voice from Charles all the way to Lucerne, it hasn't changed that much because I don't know if they like working with that or working with that voice. I don't know if that's it, but it is the voice that I get when I work with Lucerne. But I've been working on my trance mediumship for most of my life. Most of my life, that's what I've been doing. I've been working on my trance mediumship, working on that. I've always worked on my trance mediumship, always worked on that vibration. And that's through a progression. And you might get into this and work with your trance and find this whole compassion of energy working with you. Allow them to work with you, but stay in control of your vibration until you're comfortable allowing them to take up residence within your body and your being. So make sure that you are comfortable with what's going on around you. Stay conscious. Let them overshadow you first. And overshadowing, if you don't know what overshadowing is, it is when spirit pulls up very close into your auric field. They pull up very close to you. It's like they're giving you a hug. They're overshadowing you. They pull up close into your vibration. When they do that, they don't take control, but there's this connection from the spirit world to you. And allow them to make that connection first. See how you feel with it before you move into the next vibration. Allowing them to move deeper into the vibration and to a connection with you. Make sure, and discerning the spirit. And I know people that have been through this mediumship and been in mediumship have this whole connection of understanding discern the spirit, discern the vibration, discern the spirit. You have to realize that You have to realize that when you discern the spirit, discern the vibration, make sure that you're comfortable with what you're hearing from the spirit world. I've talked before about guides. You have a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper allows everybody out. The gatekeeper actually allows your trance guide in. So the gatekeeper should be very comfortable with the guide, very comfortable with the person entering your vibration. Then you have the doctor, the physician, the alchemist. Those are major guides for you. But you also have the bouncers, the people that stand guard. They're your protectors, your vibration that stands at the door and protects you. So you have all these, the guides have to get through. And through that vibration, through going through these steps in the vibration, you actually feel the energy. It's either going to feel extremely powerful for you, extremely good for you, or it's going to feel this whole connection is not quite working. It's not quite connecting for you. Don't just take it at face value with your guides, because sometimes your guides are very, very supportive. But a lot of the times your guides are thinking that if you are okay with it, they'll just keep doing it. They'll just keep doing it the same way. And when I teach my class or teach a connection to spirit, I'm always teaching people, remember exactly how you feel with it. What do you feel with the situation? Or do you feel comfortable with the vibration? Do you feel comfortable with it? Don't get yourself into some kind of habit within your vibration, a habit of, because if you keep saying a word, keep saying it, you keep saying it, you keep saying it, eventually that becomes a habit. It becomes a journey for you. So you always have to try to break your habit. When you do readings, you'll notice that some mediums will say exactly the same word over and over and over and over again. So you don't want to get yourself in a habit. So you want to try to break yourself. And when you do trance, there for a while, when I do trance workshops, I always tape the trance. I always tape it. I have a recorder that I tape the trance, especially if I'm going into trance and I have no idea what's transpiring. I like to hear what's going on. I like to know what Lucerne said. I can trust other people to tell me, but I at least try to do that. And I'm going to give you a few little hints about how to do trance, how to work with that. Even if you don't have somebody in your home that doesn't think you're completely crazy, you have somebody sit with you while you go into this deep meditation. If not, set a clock. Oh, we have phones now, all kinds of stuff that we can set. 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, half hour. Set an alarm. So that alarm will bring you out. It'll bring your vibration out. Set some kind of tape recorder in the room. That doesn't have to be playing, but set a recorder in the room. If you set your phone to ring at a certain time, half hour, set the alarm. Then set the recorder on your phone. Set it so it records. Then go into a meditation. Start focusing on attracting a trance guide. Go into meditation. Just go. You're taping the vibration, not because you're trying to hear what's going on. You're taping it in case you go into a trance situation. You're going to hear yourself talk. Because my mother used to say, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a noise? Same thing with trance. If no one's in the room with you, and you're talking and bringing through information and all this stuff, and you bring yourself back down, and you go, I wonder if something happened. I wonder if I said something. I wonder if I did something. That's why you're taping it. So you can see if there was some kind of movement when you were in trance. I spent a lot of my time working with my mother with trance, but I also spent a lot of time on my own working on it, and that's how I used to do it. I used to just bring a recorder, put it in my room. Back in the day, I'm 60-some years old, so it wasn't like we had all this stuff at that time, phones and all this stuff, when I was working on it, that we could do that. At that time, I had a reel-to-reel recorder. And if you remember what those were, I had a reel-to-reel recorder when I was younger, and I placed that in the room and turned it on, and it would record my voice on this reel-to-reel tape. And I would sit there and allow my guides to come through. So you have to realize that when you're doing mediumship, when you're doing this trance, allow yourself to discern vibration, discern the spirit, discern the connection to the highest realms. Because spirit is going to take care of you, no matter how you propel yourself, no matter how you do it. You have all this protection going on in your life, protection from your guides. You might not think you're protected. Oh, you're protected. I've been doing readings my whole life, and I am completely protected. When you do trance, ask for your highest and best. Highest and best. You don't have to say 25 prayers, circle yourself with sea salt, do some kind of Hail Marys. You don't have to do that. Ask yourself for your highest and best. Your highest and best. My highest and best might not be your highest and best. It is what works for me, how it connects to my vibration, not how it connects to yours. Because we have this content of trying to understand how spirit works. And spirit has this, I don't want to say a sense of humor, but they do. And you have to allow yourself to work with that vibration. Allow them to work with you, but allow them to work through you. Allowing them to lift yourself out of the way, because a lot of people cannot go into full deep trance. They don't want to give up control. They don't want to give up control of the vibration. They want to control it. So they're probably never going to get into a deep consciousness of trance, because they don't want to be able to let go. And to let go, and you're doing trance, is to be very extremely comfortable with the person jumping into your body. Jumping into your vibration and using your voice box, using your body to speak, to talk, and to work with others. You have to allow them. You can't allow yourself to feed into it and allow yourself to feed into the vibration. Trust your connection. And that's discerning. That's discerning the spirit. Trust it what you think should be it, your gut feeling, your vibration. Not because somebody says, oh my God, that was just awesome. It was just awesome. And you just didn't feel good with it. You didn't feel good with the energy when the connection was made. You didn't feel comfortable with the vibration. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to other people. They could take you down a road. I have a gentleman that does trance now, and when he goes into trance, he talks like some kind of crazy child that has been beat with a stick. Oh my God, it's the most horrendous thing to sit through and listen to. It's the most horrendous. And people told him, oh, it's just wonderful, it's just wonderful. I sat there and go, oh my. And he asked me one day what I thought, and I had to tell him. He goes, oh, why hasn't the other people told me that? I said, maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings or something, but have you really felt good with bringing through this person? He goes, no, but everybody liked them, so I just kept doing it. I'm going, It's your feeling, your vibration, how it works for you. I feel extremely powerful when Lucerne comes through. I feel very comfortable with him using my body, propelling himself into my vibration. I feel very comfortable with that. And he takes me places. And now, with Charles, I used to go to Charles's office. I used to sit in these big leather chairs. Guides were there. They would bring books down. I'd look at these books. These volumes of books would be placed in front of me. I'd be able to read and kind of do things and talk to these guides while I was on the other side till Lucerne or till Charles got done. And then I would be pulled back into my body. And by being pulled back into my body, it was like I was coming up through water. Like I was coming up through this break in the water. Like I had just been below the surface. And I was breaking the surface. And I had these little chills around me. And I felt like I had just come out of a cold water. And I just came my head back up above water. So that's every time I go in, I feel myself being pulled out, and I leave. And then I feel myself coming back up, and I'm coming back up through water. Every time it happens. So it never changes how I leave and how I come back. I come back the same way. Come back like coming through water, and when I leave, it's like this pulling from my back, from right around my heart chakra on my back. I get pulled out. I get pulled into the vibration and pulled out. And then I leave, and I'm sitting somewhere. Sometimes with Lucerne, I'm sitting. The most beautiful place with Lucerne is sitting in a mother-of-pearl bench that overlooks this ocean. And this ocean is almost like a light lavender. And you can touch the planets while you're sitting there. And the planets, when you touch them, make noises. They make noises. They make vibrational notes. And it's the coolest place that Lucerne has taken me. I've taken walks in different temples and different places on the other side of Lucerne. I've been put someplace, and I never really know where I'm going to be while Lucerne uses my vibration. It's up to Lucerne where he takes me, where I end up, that he feels like I am safe, and he places me there. And then it might be a temple. It might be a large room with people in it. It might be that pearl bench. It could be a path. There's a path that I sometimes walk down, and there are guides and people there, and they're always talking to me, and I'm walking down a path. But at the end of the path, I see myself. I see myself down there. I know where I'm at. Now remember, this whole thing about trance, working with trance, connecting to trance, working with that vibration. Allow yourself to connect to your highest vibration. I'm going to keep talking, and I'm going to allow Lucerne to come in and overshadow me a little bit. My voice will change. You'll notice it will change. Lucerne speaks, and they call it, I think it's a between Scottish and English. I don't know what kind of accent it is. But there's definitely an accent when he actually comes through, and you'll actually hear his vibration, his accent, as he attempts to come through and work with me. I'm allowing him to overshadow me because I can't completely go into trance. I would lose all your time. You guys could still be here at 11 o'clock tonight. We'd still be going. So I have to allow him just to overshadow me, especially when I'm on a machine or a computer. But the vibration is always allow them to pull close to you, allow them to pull into the vibration, allow them to work, because they will bring through information from the spirit world. Trance teachers like Ramtha, Seth Speaks, a lot of these trance mediums that have worked with trance through a lot of years, they bring through a vibration of spirit and a connection of spirit. So you have to realize that spirit is a connection of a higher vibration. Not a vibration of who you are, but a vibration of how we see you. It is a vibration of spirit that we connect to a higher sense of consciousness. We are not propelling you to where we are. We're allowing you to raise your vibration, but we allow you to have that free will and choice when you do trance. We don't allow you to, we don't force you or force ourselves upon you. That's just not what I feel that we need to be teaching here today. We are here standing on the outskirts. As I think Lewis has spoke to you about me waiting for many years for me to speak to him, to work through his vibration. But over the years that I was waiting, his vibration was getting stronger. It was raising the vibration, connecting to that highest sense of consciousness, so that when he was ready, I was ready to appear within the vibration. There is always this connection of where we are. There is never an essence that we throw you off balance and we try to say things that will take advantage of your vibration. You still have this free will and choice of where we attach to your field. And it's this whole vibration of guides, protectors, people with you. If everyone could see who was following them in their life, they would have this strong connection of who they are. They would understand the life lessons, the encouragement, the vibrations that they've traveled through, the
the life lessons, the lifetimes, the incarnations, the people that have followed them through many, many, many incarnations are still there with them, standing on the outskirts, cheering them forward and working with them. Sometimes your trance guides travel with you through many, many lifetimes. Always the same one, always the same vibration, always connecting to your field. Not every trance guide on the other side is going to be able to work with your field. Not every vibration. It is a vibration that was attached to you when you entered this earth plane. Not from this side, but from the other side of spirit. We as individuals here do our best to try to help you from the other side. As teachers, as master teachers, as workers for the spirit world, we try to bring through information that will help you on your journey. Not a journey that I want to disrupt in your life, because as above, so below with you. And if I disrupt your vibration or disrupt your forward motion in your life, it doesn't put a scratch against your vibration. It doesn't. What it does is it propels a vibration or a connection of energy towards me. As a guide and as a protector from the spirit world, I have to realize exactly what I'm speaking to you about so that I can personally help you. Notice that each and every one of us wait on the other side, not to just follow you and hope to God at some time in your life that you will understand who we are and eventually speak to us. But remember, we're always there, either sending signs and energy and smells and different things within your vibration to get your attention. We allow yourself to follow your path, your free will and choice, until you get close to the destination that you're supposed to see. And then we will attract you and pull you there, gently at first, but forcefully if we have to. Lewis made that decision in this lifetime not to just work a certain job, but to be propelled into this type of work. To work with me, to work with guides, to work with people, to help and encourage them. That was his life's journey. Eventually, we propelled him when he needed to be where he needed to be. I know probably some of you today listening have a journey that is somewhere propelling itself within your work field. Haven't quite made out the map or figured out the first steps in your journey. But eventually, it starts to become clear of how many paths or how much of the journey that you personally need to be on. Allow yourself to find your compassion in your life. Don't allow yourself to follow a journey that doesn't work for you. Lewis had a reading a few years ago, and he explained to the individual, I at least overshadowed him through the reading, and explained to the individual to stop following the vibration of someone else through his life, allowing himself to fall into chaos through his life, not because it was chaos meant for him. It was chaos from the situations that he has placed himself in because he believed that he needed to help. Sometimes our help is not needed some places in our lives, and some places we have to realize that. In the spirit world, before you entered this earth plane, I stood on the other side with Lewis before he entered here. I explained to him in a conference of what I was going to be in this lifetime and who I was, and I introduced myself, as did every single guide that followed him here. We introduce ourselves to you. We sit you down in a meeting and you have a consultation with us. We allow you to understand who we are. Now, once you make that journey here, that rebirth back into the earth plane, you forget who we are. The feeling is still there. You can still sense the vibration, but you forget the conversation that was held many, 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 many years ago before you entered this earth plane, and the decisions that you were going to make in this lifetime were decided at that conference. I call it the Spiritual Intuition Conference. The spiritual faces within you, the connection that your body will bring into this lifetime, that spiritual connection through your cells, your body, and your intuition. The intuition is us connecting to you and how we propel ourselves within your vibration. Some of you might find throughout your life that you fight us. You move away from us. You venture off in a different world. But it doesn't mean that we leave you. It doesn't mean that vibration at all. What it means is we follow you closely at times when you really need us. We lift you up when we need to propel you somewhere. We protect you and stand in front of you to block you from something that you are not supposed to get involved in. We do a lot with you. It's behind the scenes, helping you down the journey. But remember, the designations in your life were chosen at that meeting. You might feel that your life isn't working as well as it should be in your life. But you picked the designations within your life. There's always been this journey, the freedom to move in that journey, your free will and thought, your free will is how you arrive at that destination. That is what we help you with on this earth plane. We don't help you with the destination because you chose that with us when you left the earth, the spirit world. You chose that connection to us. But it's the journey to that destination is how we communicate with you. We help you on your journey, whether you take an excursion, the direct route, or the way that you feel is best for you. But we are always working behind the scenes to fix the journey, to allow the journey to transpire in a very positive nature. But if you allow yourself to listen, and maybe I'm talking for guides and individuals who have followed you, if at some point in your life would you just listen to us, allow yourself to make that connection to your higher sense of consciousness. It isn't the vibration that we connect to, but a true understanding. Because we are on the same page you are. We know the plan. We know the plan. We are listening to you when you decided what you wanted to do. We picked the things out in the blueprint that would fit the vibrations you were looking for and how it would affect others in their life lessons and their encouragements in their lifetime. So you could make the journey helping yourself, getting yourself to where you need to be, but also helping others on their journey to a higher sense of consciousness. But it's when we decide to go off-road, we go off into these excursions within our life. We throw ourselves off balance. Is it supposed to be off balance? It's just that journey that you've ventured onto. Quickest way I tell Lewis in his life, and I explain to him in his life, is don't make speaking to us this whole agenda situation, but only to say point blank to our vibration, is there anything that I need to do that I have not seen yet, that I have not done? And let it be. When you do that in your vibration, it allows you to put into the auric field, into your spirit world, that demand, as you would say. It allows us to propel in your life what we feel that you need to look at. Maybe there is something you haven't quite seen, you haven't quite envisioned at this point in your life. We propel that towards you. Some people will get into the vibration and speak to us and say, could I have this? Could I have this? Could you give me this? Could I go have this? Can you give me mediumship? Could I have clairvoyance? Could I have clairaudience? Could I see this? Could I have this? And there's constantly this constant parade of situations within the spirit world. If you just quietly asked us, is there anything that I need to see that I haven't seen yet, that I need to be putting in motion? Anything like that. And then it allows us to bring the most important situations within your life. Allows you to see that. And usually it takes us probably less than a week to propel it within your life. And people want to know how you are going to see it. If I'm not clairvoyant, I'm not clairaudient, how am I going to hear or see the vibration? What you do in your vibration is you watch. You are traveling a roadway. It might not be the roadway that everyone else on this call is taking, but it is your roadway. It is your connection. And on that roadway, we will place signs, vibrations in front of you to get your attention, to lead you in the right direction or the right conversation within your life. So don't think you're going to miss it. The only time you miss things in your life is when you don't want to see them. You don't want to get out of a situation because you feel sorry for someone. You need to be there to help. You need to be there to encourage, even though hell is breaking loose. Allow yourself to be good to yourself. You pick the journey, even though you might not remember the vibration that you chose before you entered here. It does not matter that during your life you will get inspiration from that discussion when you enter this airplane. You will know it'll be this I know moment in your life that is something you need to do, something you need to accomplish. And it is a glimpse of that conference that you held on the other side long before you got here. There is a journey in our lives. There is always a journey. But it doesn't have to be an unpleasant one. It doesn't have to be a journey that will throw you completely off balance. You have to allow yourself to be happy. Don't be miserable on the journey, because miserable just begets more miserable in your life. Allow yourself to propel things in your life that make you extremely happy. That you are content with the situation within your life. When I enter the vibration with Lewis, it isn't a question of me taking completely over. I allow him to have the choice of whether I completely take over, or I overshadow, or I just stand next to him and whisper, and the whisper into his vibration. But I do all what he wants me to do. But you have control of the vibration. I don't take control of the vibration just to take control. I don't run into your vibration and take control of your vibration. Those are spirits. If you have that going on in your life through this working with spirit, it means you're allowing spirits that are not highly evolved to run through your vibration, to speak through you. So then you have to put your guides on notice. Your protector, those are your gatekeeper. The ones within your vibration to protect you. Don't tell your guides that something that someone is doing to you is fine for you. It's not fine. Because let me explain to you. Once you tell, not lower entities, we don't like calling them lower entities and vibration of spirit that isn't clean. These are people who have not taken responsibility for where they are. They have ended up in a part of the spirit world that is much like ours, much like this vibration, but a little bit darker. The sun isn't shining as bright as it should be, but they're in a world similar to the one they left. Walking through the world, not being able to move forward, even though guides and people within their vibration are speaking to them. They still have that connection to this world. And if you allow them to speak through you, to take over your vibration, what then happens is your guides think you like that, and they allow it to continually happen, and then that vibration commits a habit of allowing these spirits to move within your auric field. There are different parts of the spirit world. There is that part where is a dimly lit place in the spirit world Just a different form of this place. Like walking through a mirror, but the place is still the same, just with a different vibration. Then there are different forms of that vibration that move into the different levels of the spirit world. You want to get to a part of the vibration where you get to address where you go, where you will venture when you enter the spirit world. Whether you go out to another world somewhere, you sit somewhere in one of the big museums or the libraries on the other side, and you sit to learn. Maybe you want to go take in a talk or some learning vibration from the great halls of learning. Maybe you want to go be a helper, a guide for someone who is here traveling the earth plane, and you stand in the office and you wait for the person to walk by, and they look at you and ask you to follow them, and you enter the room with them on the other side before they get here, and they patiently drive their journey through this room. Visualize this room in your life as you enter this hall on the other side. There are benches on each wall, each side of the hall, and there are hundreds and hundreds of people here, sitting, patiently waiting for individuals to walk through the front door, to make their way down this path. And as they make their way through that path, they look at individuals and say, please come with me. Please come with me. And when they eventually get to the end of this vibration, they enter a room on the other side. And all the people that they pointed to come into the room with them. And it is a spiritual connection takes effect then. This bonding effect between you and your guides at that moment. Whether it's your healing guides, your protectors, your trance mediumship, your family, it doesn't matter. They follow you into that room. And there is a bonding vibration going on in that room. And during that bonding vibration, you decide, you, not us. You might think your life is, oh my God, this is awful. But it is not what we chose for you. You had the free will and choice to be there in that room and tell us exactly how you would like, what you would like to see happen in this lifetime. How you are going to affect the whole, the vibration of the group, the spiritual group, and the vibration of your higher self. And we put these things in the blueprint. We allowed you to look at it, to make sure that's exactly what you wanted. It's what you want to accomplish in this lifetime. And when it is done, we follow you out of the room. You venture down through a part of this building as you are rebirthed back into this world. And through that rebirthing, we are there with you. We are there, but you forget who we are once you take your first breath in this lifetime. You take your first breath in this lifetime. You sometimes forget who we are. And we are always there with you because we shared the vision before you arrived here. So don't believe that the vision can't be changed. Don't take it at face value that you made a decision on the other side and it cannot change. Allow us to help you. Tell us if there's something you need to see that we haven't shown you that you need to see. Allow us to work with you. Maybe choose a different path within your vibration. Maybe we could do that. But we have to realize that you are on your journey. I am not on your journey. I am on Lewis's journey. And the guides, when we get back to the other side, Lewis might not come back. He could be sitting in that hall, or maybe one of you could be sitting in that hall when you get to the other side, waiting for someone to come by and point to you and say, join me, dear. Could you join me in the room down the way? I'll be with you shortly after I pick the rest of my guides. And you are there to help, to encourage not only the well-being of that spirit that has picked you, but also the spirit world. We are all intertwined within the vibration. I know that we go through things on this earth plane, and there are things that we don't want to go through, but there are things that we do go through in our lives. Now in your lives, here on the earth plane this time, there is this vibration that is moving through the earth plane. It is a connection of where we are. Sometimes the earth, the individuals here forget that the earth has its own energy field, its own vibration, its own connection. We forget that when we live here on this planet. We forget that the vibration is always evolving, always progressing within the vibration. And every once in a while, the earth will shake itself. It will re-envision itself. Sure, people will pass to the spirit side of life, but we do not die. It is just a journey back. Because that journey back we chose. We chose that journey back to the other side. To affect people that were left behind and to affect the spirit world. So the ones who have passed from this illness, this vibration you're going through at this time, made a decision in that room many, many, many years ago, that they would be ones to affect the ones left behind, to affect the spirit world, and to affect Mother Earth in a very positive nature. Know that we are always with you. We're always connected and always there, even through the bad times and the good times in your life. We are there to carry you, or there to propel you within your life. So remember that when you make your journey in this lifetime. Adjust the vibration, adjust the view, adjust your vibration. But when you do that, when you understand that connection, you will truly understand what we're trying to tell you from the spirit world. I hope that helps you a little bit. I'm going to quit overshadowing Lewis so he can get back to speaking. But I wanted you to know that the journey has been picked for you. We didn't surprise you with this. It was something that you chose long before you got here. Whether you've gone through cancer, whether you've gone through divorces and separation and death of loved ones and different things in your life. A lot of these were placed on the path ahead of you, not to disrupt you, not to throw you off balance, but to actually change your forward motion or change the motion of others that are on the path with you. So remember that when something's happening. Sometimes they aren't life lessons for us. They are our vibration. We are the collateral, vibration of movement, to allow the whole to get to where it needs to be. Through this time you're in now, I wish you all well. We will be here for you. And now remember, there are many greeting the souls that are arriving back in the spirit world. Greeting them with love and support, because they made that decision to make a difference. So remember, every breath you take, every walk that you do on this earth plane, affects your higher self and affects the spirit world and affects Mother Earth. So, I want to leave you with love and support. And I will try to do this again with us. But allow yourself to understand that your trance guide is there, has always been there. You handpicked them long before you got here. Whether you were going to use them or not, you put them there in the vibration to help you. They're a spiritual teacher, a connection to the higher realms, a vibrational connection between you and them. I hope that Lucerne spoke, because I'm starting to come back now, starting to re-arrive back here in the vibration, but I know he talked about things in the vibration, and I'm going to put us in Q&A sessions, and if you've got some questions, because Lucerne is still in and around my vibration, so there's something you would love to ask, go ahead, but I'll just keep talking. The vibration is you remember that everything in your auric field, everything around you, is connected to the choices you made before you got here. And I've learned that my whole life. I can go into karmic from some past lifetime and in some incarnation and some old vibration. But I've spent a lot of time with my guides, a lot of time with teachers, master teachers on the other side. And I've always been told, for me, which works for me and might work for you, is that everything in my life was chose for this lifetime. Not because of some past life, some past incarnation, that I have to pay for some kind of situation that I have put myself through. Whatever has happened in a past life or an incarnation or a vibration in the past was there for a reason. It was not to affect this lifetime, but to affect that one. And maybe there's something that happened in that lifetime was never to affect me, never to affect my vibration, but to affect the spirit world. So you got to remember that. It's this whole question. People get so involved in situations in their life. And my guide always tells me, I can trade up. I don't have to keep the same journey. I don't have to stay in the same car. I can trade up. I can trade up. I can reboot. I can reset. I can move in a different direction. It will still take me to the destinations that I'm going to be in, but I don't have to take the same journey to it. I can change the journey and go, no, didn't like that journey. Let's go try this one. This one looks better. That one looks awesome. Try another journey. Don't stay on the same journey if it's not working, if it's not fitting the vibration. Sometimes we do more harm to people staying with them than just allowing them to go on their own and us to move on our own. My childhood was when I was working with my guides and people as a child. My parents got divorced, my mother left. Then I ended up with a stepmother who was a little bit of a journey. But I realized that later in my life, I chose that. I chose that vibration. I chose that. I chose that vibration because I needed that energy from that vibration to move me in a path that I needed to move. And sometimes we go through divorce, death in our family. We go through relationships. We go through stuff in our lives. And we wonder, why in the world is this happening to me? And sometimes maybe it's not really yours if we look at it a different way. Look at how it's moving you forward. Maybe it's giving you more freedom, more self-control, maybe more vibrations within your own auric field to move you to a higher vibration, to allow you to be the true person you're supposed to be. Maybe the whole situation is just to do that. And I always remember that. I always ask my guides, if there's something I need to see that I'm not seeing yet, could you please show it to me? And allow them to work with me. Allow them to connect to me. So everything about life is this movement, whether it's Mother Earth, whether it's the spirit world, or whether it's our whole higher vibration. We're affecting it in different ways here. Even though at this point in our life, the world is kind of shaking itself. It's reassessing. It's clearing the energy. Clearing the vibration. And I watched television the other day, and I could see where all the cities, the smog was going, the
some of the water was clearing up, all this stuff was clearing up, and I could hear Lucerne say, well, you know, the place needed a little bit of cleaning, a little house cleaning. And I said, oh. So I know we're going through stuff, and I know people are going to go back to the spirit world, but I'm a true believer that we just move through a curtain. We don't die, we just move. We just venture. Sure, we get all these old things and we're getting ready to die because it's this whole vibration of, oh my God, because we have to leave this body behind. It says this whole vibration. But when we eventually get and move through that curtain, we notice that we didn't change that much. We just, the same person, the same part, the same vibration, and we move into the spirit world. So when you're actually working with spirit or connecting to spirit, allow yourself to make that connection, that true connection to spirit. Ask them. Don't be afraid to ask your guides or yell at them. I yell at my guides every once in a while when I don't think something's going exactly the way I need it to go. And I asked them, I said, if there's something I need to do, something I need to put in motion, please show me. I'd like to do this, but if you got something better planned for me, God bless everybody on the other side. And that's what you have to look at. Something in your life, something in your vibration is positive. Whether everything might not be positive, something is positive. Something. Even when I was sick and ill in my life when I was young, I got up in the morning. I was breathing. I didn't have to use the machine to breathe. I could get myself out of the bed and dress myself. Positive. Even though other stuff was going on, that was positive. So look at the positive situation. Start building on that. It's all psychometry. Remember that? Psychometry. I teach that. It's the energy, and the more positive energy you put into your vibration, the more positive the energy will become. Put negative, it keeps getting more negative, until you finally go, oh my God, this is awful. Start throwing positive in there, putting icing on the cake. So I hope that helped you today. Remember, if you are anywhere near Melbourne, Florida, and you would like to see Lucerne in person, June 7th, I will be in the Spiritless Church of Melbourne. I'll be doing the service there, Spiritless Chapel of Melbourne, there in Melbourne, Florida. And in the afternoon, I will be doing all trance workshop with Lucerne, and he will be speaking in person under red light, where you'll actually see the transfiguration of Lucerne in my vibration. So if you're in that area, you'd like to see that, I'll be doing that September 7th. So I hope you have an awesome week, a healthy, awesome week, an enjoyable week, and know that I'll be here next week, and we'll be talking a little bit more about mediumship and different forms of mediumship, and I'm going to teach you a little bit different forms of mediumship and how they work. So I'll give you a kind of idea, maybe it's something you might want to do and might want to look at and see how it works for you. And I want to thank you for tuning in today, for being here today.